Friends, welcome to another installment of Order of Phoenix. Today we will be putting some light on one of our favorite character, the keeper of keys and grounds of Hogwarts, Rubeus Hagrid. Hagrid was born on 6th of December 1928 to Mr. Hagrid and Friedel a giantess, and grew up in West Country of England, near the Forest of Dean. When Hagrid was 3, his mother returned to her giant colony, leaving his father to raise him alone. Hagrid began his magical education in 1940 and was undoubtedly sorted into Gryffindor House. During his third year at Hogwarts, Hagrid acquired one of what would be a long line of vicious pets, a giant acromantula. In the same year, Hagrid was framed for a crime he had not committed by none other than Tom Riddle, who would later become Lord Voldemort. Tom had himself opened the Chamber of Secrets and has unleashed the horror within, which ultimately led to the death of a muggle-born mourning myrtle. Hagrid was expelled from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and the Ministry forbid him from practicing magic thereafter. The then Transfiguration Professor, Albus Dumbledore, convinced the then headmaster, Armando Dippet, for having Hagrid trained for the job of gamekeeper and allowed the orphan to dwell on the school grounds. Hagrid, however, continued to perform magic with his pink umbrella, which was possibly contained the broken fragments of his old wand, mended by Albus Dumbledore with his elder wand. He was the member of original and the reinstated Order of Phoenix, a secret society founded by Albus Dumbledore to repel the Dark Lord and his Death Eaters. He was sent by Albus Dumbledore to rescue a 1-year-old Harry Potter from the tragic death of Lily and James Potter in 1981 by Lord Voldemort's killing curse. He was given the task of finding Harry, as Harry's uncle Vernon Dursley was a prune. He gave Harry a birthday cake and revealed that he was a wizard. He lost his temper completely when Uncle Vernon insulted Albus Dumbledore. He assisted Harry through the Diagon Alley and by far to the magical bank of Gringotts. He also brought Hedwig, a 3-headed dog named Fluffy, was lended to Dumbledore to guard the Philosopher's Stone. Hagrid was taken to Azkaban for a very short time in the year 1992, when the Chamber of Secrets was reopened. After Harry had killed the basilisk and rescued Ginny Weasley, his name from the crime was cleared and released from Azkaban shortly. In the year 1993, Hagrid became a professor of care of magical creatures. He taught his third-year students about hippogriffs. Draco Malfoy insulted the hippogriff named Buckbeak and was seriously injured by it. At least he showed it. The Ministry of Magic issued an order for Buckbeak's execution. After a hearing in which Lucius Malfoy's pull at the Ministry was demonstrated, the wretched reporter Rita Skeeter later used Buckbeak's attack to give Hagrid a bad reputation. However, Hermione and Harry got themselves in a tight spot to help Buckbeak and later help Sirius Black to flee. Hagrid was delighted to hear that his beloved pet had eloped and spent the whole night celebrating. During the Triwizard Tournament, Hagrid met Madame Maxime, the half-giantess headmistress of Beauxbaton's Academy of Magic, with taking care of Beauxbaton's Abraxan horses. He also helped Charlie Weasley take care of dragons used for the first task of tournament. He also bred brass-tended scroots as a project for 4th years, and were used for the 3rd task. Hagrid respected Dumbledore in his every decision. he had a great admiration and adoration towards all the professors at Hogwarts, particularly Albus Dumbledore, because he was the only one who got Hagrid out of a tight spot and believed him to be innocent, and persuaded Armando Dippet, the then headmaster, to stay at Hogwarts as a gamekeeper. Dumbledore would have trusted Hagrid with his life, and after the return of Lord Voldemort in the year 1994, he entrusted Hagrid and Madame Maxime as envoys to the giant colonies of northeastern Minsk, in the hope of dissuading the giants from joining Lord Voldemort's side in the coming war. They gifts like Gubratian fire and goblin mid helmets, and had eventually succeeded in winning over the Gurk carcass. The uprising of giants, led by giant Golgomath, who beheaded Carcass and usurped his position. Golgomath was interested and keen to join the Red Eaters rather. On his journey back, Hagrid met his half-brother giant Grob, who was having a hard time with giants, and brought him to Hogwarts and kept him hidden into the Forbidden Forest. After return, Hagrid resumed his teaching post, but was put on probation and thereby on a run because of the High Inquisitor of Hogwarts, Dolores Jane Umbridge. After the re-establishment of Dumbledore, he was welcomed back to his post. Sixth year at Hogwarts, Hagrid's favorite pet, Aragog, and Acromantula, died, and he requested the trio to visit his hut for the burial. But they were all reluctant to go at first. But after drinking Felix Felicis, Harry had the odd urge to go to the Hagrid's cabin, and by doing so, he was successful in retrieving the memory regarding Tom Riddle and his Horcruxes from a very reluctant Horace Slughorn. At the death of Albus Dumbledore by the hands of Snape, he was grief-stricken to carry Albus's body to the marble tomb in the grounds. He was a part of Mission and the Battle of the Seven Potters. He was the one to carry Harry back to the safe house on Sirius's old motorcycle. He was present for Harry's 17th birthday party and thereafter attended Bill and Fleur's wedding ceremony. He returned back to Hogwarts and resumed his duties. And had held a Harry Potter support party in his hut and had to run and hid into the mountains. Hagrid, alongside Grob, joined the Battle of Hogwarts and was the one to carry the presumably dead Harry back to the castle, sobbing and whimpering. After the battle, he resumed his post and carried on with his duties and responsibilities. Hagrid was a great man with best wishes at heart. He was highly sensitive towards his pets, which he assumed to be assuming and seriously misunderstood creatures, but according to normal standards, they were all vicious monsters. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. With this, I take a leave of you all. Stay tuned for another episode of Order of